Well, hello. I'm out here with my friend Laura. We came out here to explore some of the abandoned steps over in some of the Northside neighborhoods. And yeah, it's a really nice day out, so I thought why not explore? Well, it is the next day now. My friend and I had a blast yesterday doing some exploring. It was great to get out of the house. It's been really cold the last week, so it finally warmed up and I was ready to get out and go for an adventure. Sorry I didn't get to make this part of the video yesterday, but I was just exhausted when I got home. I just wanted to make some dinner and veg for the rest of the night, and that's what I ended up doing. But I had approached my friend Laura at the beginning of the week and asked her if she would be interested in exploring some of the abandoned steps here in Pittsburgh. The wintertime is the perfect opportunity to explore a lot of these abandoned steps because in the summertime and the spring and fall time, you have all the knotweed, the trees, and other vegetation that grow over these steps, making them impossible to find. So the wintertime is the perfect opportunity to go and spot these steps with the hillsides being so bare. Our plans changed a little bit due to weather earlier in the week. We had some snow and ice at the beginning of the week, and we thought that the steps might be a little bit too icy to explore some of the abandoned steps in the neighborhood we were considering, which we were considering going to the Spring Hill, Troy Hill, and Fineview neighborhoods. So we switched things up a little bit, and we ended up exploring steps in the Central Northside and Manchester areas. So we started off at Yin's Coffee, we met there, and then we headed through the Mexican War Streets over to Arch Street. Of course, we passed Randyland, so when in the Mexican War Streets, you gotta stop at Randyland, which is really cool. I had never been there during the day. I know, take away my Pittsburgh card, but it was really cool to see during the day. And after we did that, we headed over to Arch Street to climb the Arch Street steps. And that was my first time exploring those, and they were really cool and offer some incredible skyline views. So we climbed all the way up those, and then I climbed down just a little bit because I wanted to get some horizontal footage as well. And then from there, we headed over to O'Hearn Street, which is a street that I have explored in a previous step trek. Those ones are closed, and there used to be houses that ran alongside the street back in the day. It is pretty much an abandoned street now, and the winter time is the perfect time for this street, again, because of the vegetation. So I was happy to be able to actually get on the steps this time. When I climbed them previously, it was in the early spring and the weeds were already starting to come up. So it was nice getting to see that. From O'Hearn Street, we made our way over to the Rolla Street steps. We only climbed up about halfway just because they are a very long set of steps. I have done them in a previous step trek, and I decided I didn't really feel like going all the way up top, so we just went halfway and came right back down. On our way to the Roller Street steps, we ended up going down a fun set of steps that leads just down into a parking lot from a school. And I saw those on my last step trek in that area, but we didn't climb them on that step trek, so it was nice to be able to knock those off my list. And from there, we ended up at Irwin Street, which is a bucket list location for me. They are a closed set of steps that kind of run, I would say, about a few city blocks. And the street leading up to Irwin Street at the bottom there used to be just filled with houses. And obviously those houses have since been knocked down, and those steps have been abandoned for many years now. But since it was the winter time, we had incredible views of the steps. You could see all the way from the bottom all the way to the top of the Irwin Street steps. And the trail, there is a little greenway there that leads you over to where the steps are. And that was just really fun getting to see those. I had seen them from the top, but they are not a climbable set of steps. Most of the steps are gone, and you just pretty much have the frame and some of the railing left. They're great to go visit, but do not climb them. But after that, we ended up at another set of steps that run alingside this gentleman's house. I got a little footage of it. I tried not to get the house at all. They are public steps, but they do butt up right against this house. So that was a little intimidating. I kind of felt like I was invading this person's property, but they were public. So I was able to knock an additional set off my list. And then from there, we just headed back. It wasn't a very long kind of exploration. We did spend some time in Yin's Coffee, just having a little bit of lunch before we headed out. So I do want to do a bigger step trek in that particular area again, just to get more of the steps in that area. And I'm thinking about maybe doing it next winter. But it was a lot of fun, and I do plan on going out again next weekend and exploring some more of the abandoned city steps. We probably only have a few more weeks before the weeds start to grow, so any chance I get to explore some of these abandoned steps, I really want to take advantage of it because they are a bucket list for me in Pittsburgh. We have a lot of them, so I'm looking forward to doing more. And then next Saturday, I'm actually going to be hosting a step trek in the West End neighborhood, which is a neighborhood that I've always wanted to explore. And there's going to be a nice little group of us, so that's going to be really fun and exciting. So as you can tell, I love Pittsburgh and I love city steps. And I have a lot more steps related content coming up on my adventures channel. I eventually plan on creating a Pittsburgh specific channel to kind of focus on all of my Pittsburgh adventures. But for right now, I'm just kind of focused on getting this channel growing a little bit before I consider starting a second channel. But that is it for this adventure. I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Have a good night.